Okay, so I'm going to show you how to create a working generative AI app with no coding experience at all. So I'll walk through everything. You don't need to have any previous experience. Let's jump in. Okay, first let's pull up the tutorial. That's at tinyurl.com/genai tutorial. And I'll share the link as part of the training as well. So first, we need to log into Google Cloud. If you have a Gmail account, you have a Google Cloud account. So just click this link to get to the Cloud Console, or you can just search Google Cloud Console. Just double check that you're logged in with whatever account you want to use. In this case, I just created a new account, but you can use your existing Gmail account. So I mentioned you'll get some free credits here. That will be good to have, but our app really isn't going to use any significant spend. I've had my app running for 6 months and it's used less than 5 cents. All right, let's go back to the workshop for our next step. This is what we're going to be building, a simple story generator using AI, and then I'm going to show you how you can update it to make it your own. Here are the steps. We're going to go through it live. All right, we already logged in, checked our account. First step is going to be downloading the code that we need. So I've already written some code to get your app running. And let's go to the terminal in Google Cloud in the top right. You do that right here. This button, activate Cloud Shell. The Cloud Shell is your Google Cloud terminal. So while that's loading, I'm going to show you the next step. On the next slide, we have this line of code. Just copy everything in red. And this code, git clone, and then my GitHub page. This is going to clone the project that you need and copy it into your Google Cloud and paste it in the terminal and just hit enter to run it. It's telling me the destination path already exists. That's because I already ran this code. So it should work for you. I'll just check what my folder structure looks like by typing ls. You can see that I've already copied and created the folder Gen AI Story app. So I'm going to jump to the next step. And I'm going to go into that folder with cd Gen AI Story app. Command C, V, and we'll run this. So now I'm in this folder, Gen AI Story app. You should do the same. And then if you type ls enter, you can check the contents of the folder you're in. And this stuff should all be there because you just copied it straight from the project that I already created. But you can just double check with ls. That's optional. All right, so now we are going to go to the next step, which is we want to run our application. In order to run the application, we need to first create an API key. So you'll go to Google AI Studio. You can click this link. You can also search Google AI Studio and create API key. Press this button, select a project. Doesn't really matter what project you select. Just select one from the available options. All right, there's my API key. You won't want to share this one with anyone. I'll delete it later. Simply because if someone else had that, then they could run API calls against your key and they might be able to rack up some spend. So don't share the API key. All right, let's copy that and on to the next step. We've already copied it. Now, back in your terminal, you're going to either copy this or you can just type export API key equals and then paste the key you just created. So I'm going to type it here, export all caps API underscore key equals, and then I'm going to paste my key right there and hit enter. And this is setting my API key as an environment variable. That way, when you run your app, it's going to use your API key. All right, let's go to the next step. Now, to run our application, copy this code, npm run http server, and again, paste it in the terminal, Command V, and enter. This is going to run your application. And it should give you a link, localhost 8080. When you click this, it's going to open up your app. Great. So here's our working app. Let's try it out. Character names, I'm going to say John, Sally, Tim. Setting, let's say Hogwarts. Key story elements, let's say magical tree. And we'll leave the story theme at scary. All right, and you can see we have a story created. So you now have a successfully working generative AI app. It is running locally on your machine. I will put together a second training for how we can make changes to the code. Let me jump into that right now. All right, so we have a successfully running app. Now, how can we make changes? All right, so we're going to go to Open Editor right here. Let's give that a minute to open up. Let's go into GenAI Story App and index.html. So this is the code for our app. Actually, all of these are code for our app, but really the main functionality of what you're seeing in the web page is in index.html. So we can actually make some tweaks to that in order to improve our app or change it for whatever we want it to do. So let's just make some edits here. So actually I'd already made some edits to the base code. I added in this, also make the hero of the story Alex, a brilliant duck with race cars for feet, and added in a theme. Let's add one more here just so we can check it. Plus, let's say, start out the story by saying, once upon a time in a galaxy far, far away. Let's see if that works. Okay, so we actually can just go back to our app, refresh the page. Let's just put in the same inputs here and see if we get that updated once upon a time. And perfect, we do see that. So that means the updates worked. All right, stay tuned and I'll put together another video for how to really change this around and make it your own. So you had a story generator. Here's our story generator. Let's make another update. So let's actually just use to update this entire code. So let's select all of it and Command C, and let's go to Gemini. Gemini chat, supercharged ideas. All right, I'm just going to try log into my other account here. See if that works. All right, so let's make updates to the code. I will send you some HTML code for an app. Please update the code so that the app instead asks what the temperature is and what city I'm in, and then it recommends what I should wear today. Here is the. So you can obviously do something, you can do exactly the same thing, or you could change it around to whatever app you want to create. All right, so let's try that. I'm going to copy that code that it suggested. And let's go back to Google Cloud. And let's just replace everything with the new code. And let's go back to the app and refresh if this worked. Oh, beautiful. Just like that. We have a new 30s. And the city I'm in, Greensboro, MC. Get recommendation. It's warm in Greensboro. Opt for shorts, a t-shirt, or a light dress. Beautiful. So now you have successfully created your own app. Congratulations.